We are live on air. All right.
Hey, look at that.
Miracles never cease. All right, here we go. Good morning. Welcome to Marketing Over Coffee. I'm John Wall.
I'm Christopher Penn.
And so you've been all around the world. We had UK tour, all that stuff. What's been going on?
Unfortunately, well, fortunately, but unfortunately for folks who actually want to know what's going on, it's all under NDA because it's all client work. But it's been a fun couple of weeks. I've been to the UK. I've been to Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington. Next week, headed out to San Francisco. The week after that, heading to New York City. So a lot of client visits. It's amazing, people talk about the summer slowdown, and my frequent flyer miles card is not seeing it.
Is saying no such thing. Huh? That's
No
not
such thing. Yeah.
happening at all. Yeah, actually, you mentioned New York. That's a quick one on that. Mike Gerholt from the Salesforce podcast is going to be down in New York City for their event on June 18th. And he mentioned us all getting together. So I may be down there also. I'll have info on that in the email newsletter when that comes up. But I want to hear about the UK. This was your first time to the UK, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was my first time. Flew into Manchester and then went to a part of the UK called Derbyshire, which is not spelled anywhere near the way it sounds, which I guess is a fairly common thing because the English spellings were not standardized. Really for only to about 100 some odd years ago, which I was surprised about. So, but absolutely gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was kind of like a cold Hawaii, I realize is a bizarre comparison, but it tended to rain every night and in the early mornings. It was nice during the days, and it was the 40s at night and in the 60s during the day. So, which to me is wonderful weather.
Yeah, I was going to say that's right in the sweet spot for you.
Exactly, because I like cold. And what was surprising to me was that, particularly in northern England like that, is a lot further north than you think. If you look at latitude, it is up by Newfoundland. It is almost it's not too far off from Stockholm. So the days are really really long up there.
All right, well that's good. So the first half of the Marketing Over Coffee World Tour underway. We still one of these days are going to do a show over there, come hell or high water. But so in the time you were gone, with Google just rolling out all kinds of crazy stuff. I guess the first nuts and bolts when Google Ads rolling out a buy button.
Yeah, so that is going to be the big thing is instant buy and AdWords ads. So if you've got a transactional product, no longer will you even need to send people to the website. Just have them click buy right in the ad.
Have them run and go. And of course, Instagram, I got a link to that breakdown over there. Same thing. They've got a buy ad where you can just go and jump. And supposedly the analytics are pretty good on the backside, but I don't know about the rollout. Have you heard anything else about that?
They have been saying throughout the summer, it's going to go through Facebook's advertising system. So it's going to use the Facebook ads interface, which makes a ton of sense because they've already got all the people and all the companies registered to do business on Facebook anyway. So it would just be relatively straightforward to push that additional content into the Instagram system.
Yeah, great. Just add another tab and you've got everybody locked in and the payment's already approved, which is huge. So that's an easy sell. It'll be interesting to see how that takes off, if that really does gather the momentum. And obviously the people are there. So it's just a matter of, will they start buying?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for us is that, it's one of those things where you want to be first or you want to be early in, because those systems, it's like any ad system. Once the masses get a hold of it, your conversion rates go down, but it'll get like a grace period of like a month where it's just going to be the best thing you've ever done.
Right, you'll get a chance to run with it. Also, Facebook's rolling out saved replies on certain pages. It looks like the high volume stuff, but so basically you're on your page, you need to, you've got some answer that you're doing 30 times a day. You can just click and have it drop, which seems like it'd be a great time saver for their best customers.
Yeah, exactly. It's a customer service thing. It's like hopefully, if it's something that your company can address, you'll fix the problem instead. But
if you have to, yeah, right. If you're on the cleanup, it makes it easier to get it done. How about you? Project Soli from Google, as part of that came out of Google I/O. They have their big event. What was that all about?
Yeah, so this was fascinating. We'll share a link in from Engadget, but there's a video on YouTube of this thing. So they have been experimenting with touch-based interfaces that are powered by radar. So in the demo, they show you have a smartwatch there, and you move your hand in the air as if you were tightening or turning or twisting something, and the radar chip is actually bouncing radar waves off of your hand to detect your hand motions. So think like Xbox Kinect, but using radar rather than a visual camera, because apparently radar is more accurate, has a high sampling rate, and is very reliable. And it's also, the chips are really tiny. I mean, they're about the size of an M&M. But the demo was really something to watch, where you see somebody hold up their wristwatch and they mimic turning a dial in the air, and you see the on screen, the screen scrolling around. You see in front of a laptop, you see them pinch their fingers together like clicking a button, and you see on a tablet the button gets clicked. So if this makes it to market and stuff, I think it's going to be pretty spectacular.
That's cool. Yeah. Again, gesture interface keeps coming up, better way to do things and getting more interactive. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right. And so this is the real news is, last time we had talked to you, you were still awaiting shipment from Apple, and you said you were going to get the watch before you did the UK thing. So did the box finally show up, and where are we at?
Yeah, the box showed up the day before. I got, for those who are watching on the video stream here, we have the Apple, the stainless steel one with the Milanese band. I have been making heavy use of it. I love the thing. It's very handy for travel because I have put a currency converter on here for England. Passbook is on here, so it kind of messed with the airlines heads when at gate boarding. I bring up Passbook, I'll bring up the QR code for my ticket, just stick my hand under the scanner. They're like, "What do you do? Wait, what? What just happened?"
That's great. First man through with that. Yeah. So how did Passbook on the watch work? Is it flawless or?
Yeah, it works great because this is a Bluetooth device. I mean, at the end of the day, this has no network capability of its own. So everything goes to the phone. So as long as it's on your phone, it'll work here. So you update your Passbook stuff on your phone, it shows up on the watch, and it does what it does. I mean, it is, for all intents and purposes, this is a second screen for your phone, is what it really boils down to. People are expecting it to be doing all these amazing things. No, it's a second monitor. And that's really what it excels at. I like it. So my favorite apps in here so far, Evernote, the ability to do voice notes from Evernote is handy. Your Starbucks card runs on here. TripIt, which is huge. Uber, which is huge. And really, it has worked out to what they said it was in all the promotional press, which is it's a way to not have to stare at your phone all the time. Now you can just do quick one-offs. When a message comes in, you scroll down, go, okay, no, I don't need to do that. Hit go, and off it goes. So you're in and out of your inbox very quickly. Voice interface for lots of stuff, which is really handy. I like it.
That's funny. I had never heard anybody say that, second screen for a phone, because it's just so funny. In my office, there's no way you could get me not to work with two screens. I mean, I've just become so accustomed to two screens. The ability to cut and paste things between two screens, as you're working on two things, is just huge for somebody that spends a lot of time in front of the screen. So I can see how for a watch, for a phone, that would be interesting because you're always using it. Also, it's just fascinating how, you've got the connection there, the device is always on. Even with the Surge, one thing that surprised me is I didn't realize how often I would miss stuff with my phone in my pocket, if I had it set to vibrate. But now that I get the vibration on my wrist of calls and texts, I don't miss anything. So that's pretty interesting. And then avoiding the social stigma of being able to check your watch. I'd gotten away from watches, so to be able to do that kind of stuff and get away with it is good. So we're right on the edge of WWDC is next week, though. So we're expecting new stuff to roll from Apple. I don't know, anything on your radar that you're expecting them to throw?
The big thing is supposedly TV. They're going to finally make Apple TV something functional. We'll see. I get where they're going with it because quite frankly, there's not too many other devices that they can remake it. There's your car, your TV, your house. So HomeKit, I think, is going to be a part of it. The connected home stuff. And after that, I mean, really, other than some kind of wearable on your face, there isn't any other place for Apple to be.
Oh, wearable though. I just saw. I'd actually used. What do they call them? Audio filters. There's a company, Dubs, makes these earplugs. In fact, I've got them right here. So the idea is, instead of using a earplug that just blocks your ear canal, these are actually filtered and have a whole chamber so that you still get the full sound spectrum, but reduced. And so their next project is over on Kickstarter. I'll have a link to that. Is a totally dynamic one where it just has a microphone. It processes the sound as it comes through, and then you listen to the processed sound, but it happens in real time. 3 millionths of a second. And there's just some cool stuff about, click the filter out crying baby button and things like that. And, being at a concert and remixing the audio for the show as you're there. So,
yeah, I've got I before I left for England, I got the in-ear Bose headphones, and the noise cancellation on those is pretty impressive.
Yeah, isn't it? I had a set of the QC15s, which were the over the ear before the previous version, and yeah, I was amazed at how the new version, they totally kicked it up a notch. And then of course it's so much easier to travel with those. They fit into a tiny. In fact, I'm wearing them right here if you need to see the demo. So yeah, those are amazing, and like I said, for portability, it can't be beat. So yeah, on Apple TV, it'll be interesting to see. People have been talking about for like the past 3 or 4 times they've gotten together, but I think you're right. There's nothing else huge on the horizon, so it's either going to be a big deal, or if they don't have Apple TV, who knows what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, that's going to be my next purchase. Is actually going to be a 4K TV for the office here. I found a couple of really decent 50 or 55 inch ones, with a decent pixel density, enough that you can use it with like a side by side with a non-Retina display, and you'll notice the difference. But it's going to be hooked into the Mac, because the Macs can drive 4K displays as if they were Retina displays.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fascinating. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, some of those pictures just amazing. And and it's funny, with physical media dead now, it's not a big deal. People just up it to the next resolution, and it does look fantastic. So looking forward to that. We'll have to do a unboxing. Yeah, in fact, oh god, that story of kids unboxing was huge this week, but I don't want to go down that road. That's long and boring.
Yeah. One thing I had that I can't beg people enough to do is, if you have not downloaded the free Google Analytics add-on for Google Spreadsheets, it is the fastest way to get lots of data out of Google Analytics and into a spreadsheet form that you can then do reporting on. It is so much of a time saver. If you are still exporting individual views out of Google Analytics, you want this software. The price is right, and it will save your sanity.
All right. Yeah, I noticed you had blogged about that earlier this week, and yeah, it just seems like once you start doing more advanced stuff, being able to dump to a spreadsheet easily is really just becomes required. That's part of the pack. So, and that's just more content that you have to put together. And let's face it, we're all writers, whether it's a press release, email, website copy, report, or white paper. Writing has become part of our day-to-day responsibilities. But just like any skill, writing doesn't get better without instruction and practice. That's why starting June 11th, you can learn from over a dozen of the best and brightest instructors in the world at Marketing Prof's Marketing Writing Boot Camp. You'll get tons of great writing tips, new techniques for enhancing your writing style, and you'll learn to write with a relentless focus on your audience. So, special offer to Marketing Over Coffee listeners. And in fact, by the time you're listening to this, it should be June 11th. In fact, that's when this episode's going to drop. So check today. You can go to mprofs.com/coffee, use the promo code coffee when you enroll. That'll get you $200 off. It's normally $595, so you get it for $395, plus you get a bunch of Marketing Profs seminars, classes, video tutorials free just for registering. We want to thank Marketing Profs for their support of the program this quarter. And we've got a lot going on next quarter, too. We are booked up for next quarter and sold out already, which is nice. So,
if you are a manager and you have people on your staff who are newly out of college who you realize cannot write for business, you need this course. And I have seen, there's a whole new wave of new graduates who are coming out there, and there are lots of people with good raw writing talent, but a course like this will add some some necessary polish.
Yeah, and I think it's funny, even in the biggest sense, and they hit it right there. We talk about relentless focus on the audience. So much of academic writing is just explaining things or selling a point of view, and you really have to reverse everything to talk as far as what's in it for the customer. And it's just amazing how many people don't make that shift. I still get pitches every day to Marketing Over Coffee where X widget releases version 7.0. I mean, could anybody care less besides the people that work at the company? It's just amazing that stuff still flows. But yeah, and then of course all eyes focused on the fall show too. B2B is always their biggest event for us. We're always excited to get over there and check that out. So that's closer than ever here with the summer. We've got kind of the Cape and the Islands season coming upon us. Not as much.
Oh, not for me.
Yes, those unfortunate for the working class like us will be here with cold beverage, but still working. So we will continue to push towards the that schedule. Let's see, Twitter Audience Insights. You said they've done some nice stuff over there.
Yeah, so this is if you're familiar with Facebook's Audience Insights, Twitter's Audience Insights is similar, but it is for Twitter. So you can get demographics, you can get behavioral buying habits, consumers data, a lot of stuff. There's no data export facility from it yet, but there is some nice stuff. And it's a useful thing. It's a useful tool for you if you want to know who your Twitter audience is, or you want to know who your tweets organically reach. And there is a difference between the two. So you'll find it in the Twitter ads interface. I would recommend, and this is for Marketing Over Coffee listeners, I would recommend that you start comparing the two. Because you'll find that there are probably differences in the audience. Oh, that reminds me. There's another thing I had for Marketing Over Coffee listeners only. Nick Westergaard asked this week on Facebook, what do people do with their business cards they collect at conferences? Do you add them to an email list? And of course, the wisdom of the crowd says no, never. That's something you never do that because I hate people who do that sort of thing. So I said you absolutely add them to your email list, but you don't email them. So here's the secret for MOC listeners only. You should be taking these lists and then feeding them into your social media advertising systems because they can take a list of email addresses and show ads on Twitter and Facebook. So you meet somebody at a show, you say hi, maybe you shoot them a one-off email. You do not subscribe them to your mailing list. You take all those business cards, get them into an ad list. Because you have the phone number, you have the email, and now that goes in the Twitter ad system. You show them your ebook, you show them whatever. You do the follow up that way. So it's a soft touch. You're not harassing them, but you're still getting to them.
Yeah, no, isn't it that? Yeah, that's such a great trick. It's so effective too. The cost differential is just ridiculous. You can go from spending $3,000 a month to $40. I mean, you can completely crush it when you switch to that approach. And and you are doing them a service. I mean, I know Tom Webster would like to stop getting washing machine parts in his ad feed, at least if it was something marketing related. That would be a great step up. So, yeah, that's it's funny. I noticed when you put that comment out there, we were tipping the cards there, and it was great. Gave him a tease to come listen to it. So I'll tease it in the show notes too, so we can over here to jump on that. So other stuff we had to throw in a coffee related story. In fact, I had received a Keurig, this new machine that has the DRM on it, caused all kinds of hassle and grief, and linked to an article saying that the sales down 20% year over year, quarter over quarter based versus last year. So it seems like they may be paying a price for trying to pull that DRM'd coffee cartridges. So we'll see. It may still rebound, but yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't surprise me. I think anytime you just try to be a jerk, it seems like that comes back to bite you.
Imagine that. Oh yeah, it's really funny too because there are some clone machines out there that can accept the standard K-cup size and stuff, and they probably do as good as any is for cramming that much water through that few grinds.
to leverage the grind. Okay, even more intrigue and excitement. The Silk Road founder sentenced to life in prison. I thought that was very, Silk Road, kind of the leading poster child for the dark web. The secret internet where you can buy drugs and have crimes committed and all kinds of ridiculous stuff. And the founder pleading for leniency and getting none of it. In fact, I think the judge sentenced him more than the prosecution had reached for. I think it was supposed to be 20 years or something, and they hit him with life. So it's just an interesting story. Definitely check out the links in the show notes and see what you think about it. But are you surprised by that judgment?
Well, so here's the bottom line. You can go out and murder people and do all sorts of horrific things, but do not mess with drug companies' profits, or you will get the book thrown. Don't mess with drug companies' profits. Don't mess with DRM, and don't mess with the banks. If you avoid the people with the actual money and power, then life is good.
But yeah, when you challenge the system, the
system wins.
You'll get caught in the gears, and those are some big gears, and they grind to a fine powder. So,
yep,
yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm sure this is the kind of thing will be an appeal for decades, and but it'll be interesting to continue to watch that and see where it goes. Let's see. Oh, I had a neat new tool, Appear.in, which if you do meeting or conferencing, much like Google Hangouts here, right now it's kind of past beta, but very early, so you can get over there for free. You can stake out your namespace, but it's for Chrome. I know Chrome might be the only browser that supports it right now because Chrome supports this RTC real-time connection that we talked about like a year and a half ago. It had been rolled out, and the idea is that with Hangouts or Skype or GoToMeeting, all these other tools, you connect from yourself up to the service and then back down to the other attendee. And with Appear.in, you actually connect peer-to-peer. You go direct to them. And so sound quality and video quality are just fantastic. I've been playing with it for about 2 weeks now and have really been impressed with what it does. Of course, the one gotcha right now is no screen sharing as part of that. So that can be a gotcha. But I don't know, I've come to the point now where I'm not interested in making cell phone calls. For business calls, I would much rather just hop on any of these services because the audio is so much better than a cell phone call.
Oh, totally. I try to avoid talking to people in general. So
that's the other route. Avoid talking to them whatsoever if you can get away with that. Let's see, other stuff I had on the show list. An article about Machinima. People saying that there's a couple unique new series coming out, Machinima series. So if you're into that, it may be finally time for that. And then John Miller has a new company too. John from Marketo, who's been a friend of the show for a long time, and he has something new going. So I'm going to reach out to him at some point. We've got to catch up with him, and probably B2B would be the best place to do that. So anything else on your rundown again after weeks away?
Just the fact that I'm getting on an airplane Sunday morning, so back on the road.
The battle continues. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
the one thing I do want to. It's an unsponsored plug, but I'm going to give this a try.
This is it. He's running for the door. What have we got? For
those who, I apologize to those who are not on the video feed, but I'm going to try out the Osprey Farpoint backpack. It's a 22-inch backpack that has a decent amount of space for like your clothing and stuff, plus your laptop and things. So I'm going to give this a try for like 4 days in San Francisco to see if I can get by with everything I need to do, meetings and stuff like that. It's got the compression straps to keep your stuff together, but we will see if this lives up to its billing. A lot of folks say though they have backpacked across ridiculous stretches of the earth on with just one bag, and it's small enough that I think it's going to fit. It will still fit under the seat in coach. So we shall see, but I have high hopes for it.
Yeah, so you're going single bag under the seat, no overhead bin, and all in there for 4 days. That's the distance you're going for.
4-day mission. 4-day mission, and there's a bunch of there. If you ever want to just spend some time, with thinking about travel hacks, there are so many channels on YouTube that have stuff out there. So I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how that works for you because I definitely think you can do it. There's so much going on with the other crazy one. If you're not afraid to get into synthetic clothes, there's a lot of crazy stuff on that front too, as far as shirts that, you can literally bring 2 shirts and rotate them and go for a month or whatever, insane stretches of time. So, well, we'll keep an eye on that as it goes, and good luck with the travel. We will catch up with you next time. And until then, enjoy the coffee.
Enjoy the coffee.